I love board games and stuff, but like in real life, I don't have the group to meet up with to play them.
Yeah.
So Tabletop Simulator is kind of that thing where you try and get people to play.
Well, I would, but the whole can't drive thing kind of gets in the way. I said
Well,
it's a
yeah.
mod for Warcraft 3, Bolty Head.
Well, and I would drive to you to play board games, but
Have fun driving to Toronto and back every time,
well, it's not a huge deal for me.
I guess.
I don't mind the drive to Toronto. I'm one of the few. And
It's
you
not
live
a terribly
you live
hard
in
drive
North
to get
Toronto, right?
North York, yeah.
Yeah, so I can easily just drive around Toronto to get to you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Coming from the north, yeah. But the thing is then it's just either two, like it's just like two of us.
Yeah.
And playing board games is two, is
And
not.
if we were to play the board game here, it would just be me, you, and my mom probably playing Talisman.
Yep.
Because we are big Talisman fans.
And you can get Talisman on Steam.
Yep.
Which
we
I
do
have.
we do play Talisman at pretty much every family gathering, though.
I love
Because
Talisman.
all of us play Talisman.
It's a great game, and it's got some amazingly.
It is a terrible game that is really fun. It is the least balanced bullshit game.
It's got the most ridiculous. Like some items in the game are just the best.
I always end up drawing Assassin. We have like a 50 character pool because we have all the expansions, and we always end up drawing. I draw Assassin, which is basically the win button. I have lost at least 5 games because I was the Assassin. I dominated everyone, got to the Crown of Command, flipped over the event card, and it was the horrible Black Void, which is you die and don't come back. Bullshit.
I'm used
There's
to
a
playing.
you die ending.
I'm used to playing the game where I end up like I pick my cards and then I end up getting like 2 shitty people and then an evil character. And I always pick the evil character because I always seem to draw the Doomblade. It adds strength and what's the other one? Is like wisdom or whatever.
Craft.
Craft. Your strength and craft. It adds like 3 to both. But then also when you win a battle, you gain a life.
Yep. Fuck the police, Brandon. Fuck the police.
It is just the best. Because the good version is the Holy Lance, which only adds 2 strength and 2 craft, and then has no other, it has an extra, like you add like 5 strength against dragons.
So, I think the next big thing I need to do for my business, because it's going between this weird little cycle of every day I either make a lot of money or I make a little bit of money. And it's really
you die
annoying.
in the game, you die in real life.
So I'm gonna start building smuggler holes in every single city to start really ramping up the income now. We're at a safe point in the game to start doing that, where I have a lot of rhetoric and charisma now. So if I do get taken to court for my legion of pickpockets, I can talk my way out of it really easily and either just get off scot-free or get off with like a very small cash fine.
And now what?
So I'm at the game where I can start expanding my my
The
fucking
expansion of your business.
mafia. I'm trying to basically become a crime lord at this point.
What you're
What I'm
saying
gonna
is you're
do-
trying to expand the flock.
Yes. So what I'm gonna do here is just slowly go on down to here with this horrible frame rate.
Is that what you call your family? The flock?
Yes, definitely. IRL. And they all call me Mah-Dry-Bread. Well, to be fair, that wouldn't be too out of the ordinary considering most of my friends call me Mah-Dry-Bread. Even my fucking teachers called me Mah-Dry.
Wow.
What was the name of the law teacher I had? I don't even remember. She always called me Mah-Dry.
Well, it was just because it was easier than people trying to figure out what your actual name is.
Exactly. So, and this is before I even had YouTube. Like, Mah-Dry was not a username for YouTube. Like, if you look at my YouTube username in the URL, it's not Mah-Dry-Bread. It's Madrot567 because like that was made when YouTube was new. That was made like 2007, 2006.
You can actually check if you go to your YouTube channel.
Yeah. All right, I actually need to up my rank, purchase a new title for 2,000 before I build another business. I forgot about that. So we're just gonna wait with our camera around here.
I'm used to I'm used to teachers and stuff calling you either
Do I
Madru,
help?
Monroe.
Monroe was a good one.
Monroe is a good
You
one.
got like 2 letters right.
They actually called you Monroe.
That was a substitute.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is it so
Mandroot.
hard for people to know your name?
Mandroot was another substitute. That was a great one.
Man, Drew, there's not even an N in it.
I didn't know that was me at first. That one took me a second.
Hey, our math teacher used to call me Damien, so
Yeah, that was amazing. Damien and Brandon, basically the same thing.
yep.
So, bad translation, typo, or weird joke that missed the mark. You decide. In this patch version of the game, my disposition is evil.
What?
I don't know, because I don't think English is the first language of the people who make this game. I'm fairly sure this might be an Austrian game. Oh yeah,
Guitar
Jones's
Hero
real
code.
name is Fabian.
Guitar
He-
Hero Jones. My real name is Fabian.
Oh my
His
god.
name is Fabian, and he's 6'6" and has perfect hair. He's basically the definition of Central European hunk, where he's Austrian, so he's like this German guy. He's like really tall and has his perfect hair, and his name is Fabian. He's the definition of when they have the sitcom where the European guy with the handsome accent walks in and all the women flock to him. That's Jones.
Oh my god.
And the worst part is he's fucking Dr. Jones. So every single time I see his name, I get the fucking fucking Dr. Jones, calling Dr. Jones song stuck in my head.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Wait, how do you know how I look? It's on your Skype. You had it on your Skype for a while, your face.
Baldy said that you watch him sleep too.
Okay. I would have to travel so far to watch him sleep.
You
Would
watch
you-
everybody sleep. You
Would
watch
you,
me
or do you
sleep.
just have to call them on Skype?
Yeah.
You're right, it'll auto answer and I'll see him. Yeah, Jones, Jones, you live in Austria? Hitbox is an Austrian company. You should go work for Hitbox.
Cui bono?
You're the 2 Austrian things that I thought of today, which means you must be related.
Just go over to the door of the building and knock.
Yeah, you're right next to it, right? Hitbox is in Vienna. I don't know where you are. I know Vienna is the capital, and I'm fairly sure it's the highest population city in Austria. I don't know much about modern Austria. I know about historical Austria, because Austria, people used to talk about it a lot more than they do now. Doesn't come up in casual conversation that much anymore, unless you're talking about Civ 5, in which case you bring up Austria because you fucking hate when Austria shows up because they ruin your diplomatic victory. Because their ability is they can buy city-states into their empire. Oh, the Austrian AI is a fucking asshole.
Austria's pretty. I like it there.
You visit Vienna like once a month because you visit friends there.
Totally. No, I've only been there like once, but it was really pretty. I went to
Mandy's
Westendorf.
German.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy's German, so we make many Nazi jokes. She's
I
a
know.
confirmed. Well,
Many.
there is fan fiction of her on as a Nazi dominatrix on the forum. So
There is.
so she is a confirmed Nazi.
Oh,
The fanfic said so, and fan fiction is canon in real life.
Now there just
It
needs to be
must be
fan
true.
art.
Yeah.
Fan art of the fanfic.
Oh my god, no.
So
Nobody.
now we need fan fiction. Now we need fan fiction of Mandy being Hitler in disguise, or rather Hitler is Mandy in disguise, and Jones was the leader of the resistance force, the anti-Nazi resistance force. And we can make like a whole fucking 44-part internet fanfic about it.
Stop.
It'll be great. I'm fueling the fan fiction.
Oh my god.
It's
Mandy
gonna
for
be
Führer.
great. It's gonna be great.
Look.
Hashtag Mandy for Führer.
Shouldn't be the other way around. Hitler was Austrian. As far as you know, again, what if Hitler was actually Mandy in a Hitler suit.
Ego sum cum sum.
Then he was German the whole time.
Absolutely.
No wonder he loved Germany so much.
Oh my god.
It's like that whole joke I always have of the United Kingdom may have made the stupidest man of all time, but Australia was the one who elected him. In reference to Tony Abbott, it's Austria may have made the most evil man of all time, but Germany elected him. So really, you gotta blame Germany on that one. They had the power to not elect him, and they elected him. Australia had the ability to not elect the dumbest man of all time, but they elected him. Really, I am more mad at Australia than Germany on this one. At least Hitler could talk a big game. Tony Abbott was a raving fucking idiot before he was elected. Oh my god. There are montage videos of Tony Abbott stumbling over his own words in interviews and just nodding his head and then walking away when someone said a question he didn't know the answer to. My favorite was the one time they said, they ended an interview with Tony Abbott by saying, "So when's the election day again?" And he said, it'll be the 4-year anniversary of the previous election day. And he said that completely unironically. And then it cut back to the newsroom where there are just like 4 people with like stunned open-mouthed smiles at that fucking baffling response. They ask for the date of the day that he can be elected, and he's like, "Oh, it's the 4-year anniversary of the last time." And he thought that was an applicable answer. What the fuck? How was that the first thing that came to Tony Abbott's mind? What the hell?
Because he is the most intelligent man in the world. That's why.
Oh my god, it's so good. He pretty much threatened to march his army if Austria didn't elect him as the leader of Austria. Now, you see, if there's anything I've learned, you see, Johns, this shows the shocking lack of tactical expertise in Austria at the time, because they should have been playing more Company of Heroes too, because they know if they're just gonna fucking A-move their army in your front door, what you do is you lay some demolition charges and some mines, because if they don't have their then if they bring their engineers up front to try and detect the mines, second they go on top of them, you blow the demolition charges, and they're like, "Oh, well, that was the explosives, lost our engineers, but I guess I'll keep going." That's when they hit the mines. And then you start using your partisan tank hunters, have them come out of the buildings next to their base and start fucking them up after they ruined their own economy with it. So, Jones, it's your fault that your government, before you were born, didn't play Company of Heroes 2.
Is it the Super Bowl today?
I don't know what the sports ball is. I wouldn't know.
I saw somebody tweet that it's Super Bowl Sunday.
It is Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Soul.
Salt Sunday.
Super Soul Sunday.
Anything wrong?
I didn't know it was the Super Bowl today.
Yeah, it's your personal fault. It's like that person who hated me in high school because she was Polish and I descend from Russians like 3 generations back, and they're like, they hated my guts, I guess, because Stalin existed? Thanks. It's really my fault that Stalin was a grade A doucher. Thanks for that one, lady. Racism doesn't make sense.
I think people in the
just don't
chat.
get it.
I think people in the chat know about the sports ball. Also, double R13. It is Super Saiyan Sunday. Every Sunday.
Yes. Super Saiyan Sunday.
I do need to replay Super Saiyan Densetsu again one day.
And only posted on Sundays.
Only
Super
post on
Saiyan
Super
Sundays.
Saiyan Densetsu Sunday. Super Saiyan Sendetsu. I don't know how I would work that into a pun. And I would play with it. I would pick to use the same horrible translation because it's just more fun for that. Non-translated thing. Non-translated thing. Why is this part translated into French and the rest is in English? Fucked if I know.
Kaipon says that you're the reason Stalin was born. Sounds legit.
Yeah.
Eating all the mushrooms says that Stalin is your boyfriend.
I cannot confirm or deny. Georgia may have created Stalin, but I guess I can't do the elect joke again this time with Stalin. He wasn't elected, he was just part of the revolution. Well, he was a great Secretary of Defense. It was when he took over leadership is when he was fucking horrible, and Vladimir Lenin, the leader at the time, made it very public he never wanted Stalin to become the leader, and he fucking politicked his way in. He wasn't even the next guy after Lenin died. I think he was the guy after the next guy. Although I think that in-between guy only lasted like a year.
In 2015, did you ever say, I have a vagina?
I don't remember.
No,
this.
no, I didn't. I think he's just rolling with the gag of you can quote anyone as saying anything because if someone believes it, they won't fact check it.
Yeah.
Oh, you can say that. You can say like any fucking. You can like say something really bigoted and then like put like a YouTuber after it and then tweet it out. And anyone who already hates that YouTuber won't check to see if it's true or not. They just go with confirmation bias and tweet it out anyway. It's amazing.
True.
It's why I always say that Twitter is just like a 140 character confirmation bias machine. Is no one fact checks, they just retweet whatever they want to believe. God, I'm constantly hovering just below the amount of money I need for another smuggling hole. It's annoying. And now Millie really wants to do co-commentary.
Hi, Millie.
Yeah, she's getting loud again.
Yeah.
She went through her phase of being quiet for a month and a half, and she's back to being loud again. I actually need to hire more pickpockets, but I don't want to slow down getting another smuggler's hole.
I need to hire more mercenaries to take out my cats.
Hey, Millie, how about you go take a cat nap in the garbage disposal?
Aww.
You just run over, jump off a bed, and anthrax ninja Millie.
I'm happy that Anthrax Ninja has somehow been a show joke that never went away. I don't know how that one has lasted as long as it has. I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but someone finally actually got a VHS rip of the Anthrax Ninja American Army commercial that was only broadcasted within the American military bases. And someone found it and got it on YouTube. It's so good.
It was probably like an old ex-officer or something.
Probably. Well, it was made by the army is the thing, because it works just like the Marine Corps where they have to make it themselves. So they have to just get the army to make the fucking thing. So like, whatever asshole says he's the best there at editing videos, that's the guy they get. So he could be complete shit, and he was.
Yeah.
Ah, it's so good.
That's
I don't-
unlike the
I
Canadian
think-
military.
That's actually not the longest one, Danta. The longest one is Hernandez Punchstick, entirely because we still have a guy in the chat called Hernandez Punchstick. Because that joke is probably 4.5 years old. That's just what I named my character in Mountain Blade with Fire and Sword.
That's the oldest running joke?
Probably.
Wow.
Actually, You Can Do It Goku might be older.
You
I
can
think
do it, Goku.
You Can Do It Goku may be the oldest one, where in episode 12, I want to say, of Super Saiyan Densetsu, we did the gravity training on King Kai's planet with Piccolo, and the translation was so shit, it said, "You can do it, Goku," to cheer on Piccolo.
Don't worry, I remember.
I know, I'm just giving the context for everyone else. Which is why in the chat, if you're a subscriber here on Hitbox, one of the emoticons is You Can Do It Goku, which is Piccolo with Goku's hair. It's for when you're cheering me on, you do the You Can Do It Gokus.
Yep.
Hitler wasn't that bad was a Mah-Dry-Bread quote from 2014, I believe, because it was me sarcastically saying it as a joke. But it doesn't matter because you can't put sarcasm in text.
What?
True. You need a You Can Do It Goku shirt with a Piccolo face on it.
Hi, my name is Madrot Stowe, and I would like to not be sued by Bandai.
True.
I would get cease and desisted so fucking hard for that. They are very protective of their intellectual property.
So,
Just put Goku hair on it, and then it's a parody.
Dylan just made me a picture, and I'm going to post it in the chat. It's absolutely beautiful, and I love it.
That is multiple in-jokes deep that haven't even been on the show yet. Actually, did you explain the cookie thing on the show? No, you explained the cookie show on. You explained it on break though, which means that YouTube never saw it. You want to explain? You ruined my son's birthday.
Okay, so I work in the food industry, right? So that means I obviously make food all the time, and we sell cookies where I work, and we are able to make maybe about 6 dozen cookies at a time because that's the only amount that our oven is able to hold. And so it's no big deal. We don't sell that many throughout the day. And this guy comes in. It's like the middle of the afternoon rush, so we've obviously sold a lot of products. And he comes in and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need 72 cookies." And you know, we were obviously just like, we don't even have 72 cookies right now. And, like, he wanted 72 specific chocolate chip cookies, like, and we don't even make that many at a time. So, you know, we went ahead and told him, like, we don't have that, dude, sorry. And he just loses his shit, and he's like, "I can't believe you don't have 6 dozen cookies. I'm going to report you to corporate. You ruined my son's birthday party." And we were just like, "Okay, dude, chill out." So we told him, like, "Okay, well, here's what we can do for you. You can either stick around for the next 15, 20 minutes, and we'll make you that order for you. Like, you could have called in maybe half an hour earlier, and we wouldn't have ruined your son's birthday. But we were like, we'll fix this for you." No, he would not have it. He was fucking pissed off. He lost his mind. He was like, "No, you're never going to work in this town again. You ruined my son's birthday. I'm going to report you to corporate." Yeah. No,
you'll never work in this town again.
Yeah.
You didn't. It takes 15 minutes to make my 72 cookies. Yes. Flips the counter.
I know, like he was rabid. It was hilarious.
Oh my god.
And he was like, "You'll be hearing from your manager for this." So I texted my manager the whole thing, and she was like, "Wow, what a douchebag." And then, like, and that's all that happened. It was like, holy shit, customers are retarded.
15 minutes. Is he aware that 15 minutes is a really short amount of time to get 72 cookies baked? Like, that's not fucking easy.
It's not. Like, it takes 10 minutes to bake them, and they'll need like 5 minutes to cool in the rack so we can put them in boxes for him. But
like, what does he think you do there? Does he think that you just like walk into the back and start ripping open the boxes like Mr. Christie's cookies and pouring it in a box for him? Like, yeah, that doesn't take long.
I know. And the worst part is he brought his son there, his alleged birthday boy son, and like he was just stood there by the door in horror, just watching his father lose his mind. I looked at him like, "Oh my god, you poor kid. Like, I'm sorry I ruined your birthday and everything, but your dad's a prick."
I like that was like a specific day for you, when that is like almost every day that I work.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's like every day for Fatima too, because she works at Starbucks as a barista for like 5 years now. So like, fucking, on one hand, she meets like really nice people who get her these job opportunities, like, you know, people in law offices and stuff, because they go to Starbucks because only they are rich enough to get Starbucks. She also meets really entitled fucking assholes who freak out at everything.
Well,
yeah.
Like, I mean specifically, like, people will come in. Now, at Tim Hortons, you can order a box called an 80 Cambro, which basically just means it's this gigantic, almost tub with a spout on the side that can hold 80 cups of coffee.
Holy shit!
Jesus.
Why do you need this?
People order them for like meetings and like the conventions and stuff. Like,
it is Tim Hortons.
Bigger groups. So people will come in. Now, let's say it's 8 in the morning. We have like probably the biggest rush of our day. someone will come in, stand in line, or come through the drive-thru and go, I need an 80 Cambro. An 80 Cambro will take us probably about a half an hour if that was all we were doing. Because there are so many pots of coffee in an 80 Cambro. Because one pot of coffee will make about 5 cups of coffee. So 5 cups to get to 80 per pot,
Brandon.
and you can only make about 5 pots at a time.
Brandon, you're gonna ruin someone's birthday.
People will yell at us. People yell at us if we don't have Timbits at like 6 a.m.
Oh, people are fucking assholes to people who work, like, any kind of
yeah.
service job. Like, if you work at a counter with a cash register, people fucking hate you irrationally.
They really
it's
do.
insane.
They really
like,
do.
Or
such misguided anger.
Tim Hortons is like Tim Hortons in general is it's obviously a huge company. Each individual store is owned pretty much by different people. Like people own multiple, but most are owned by different people.
Yeah.
Not every Tim Hortons carries the exact same products.
Oh yeah, like different ones you go to have different Timbits, for instance. Like
They have different Timbits,
my
cookies,
sister,
muffins.
last time I went to my sister's place, she recommended we go to a specific Tim Hortons because it did Boston cream Timbits, because not everyone does that. Those are really good.
Mine does not have Boston cream Timbits.
That's a shame.
So people will come in and they'll order. They'll be like, "Can I have, let's say, like a lemon poppy seed muffin?" And I'll be like, "Oh, sorry, we don't have the lemon poppy seed at the moment." And the person will be like, no, yes, you do have the lemon poppy seed. I got one the other day from the one over on whatever street." And I'm like, "Okay, but at this location, we don't carry that."
Yeah,
And they're
like see, something people don't understand. Like this is the same thing with like a lot of fast food places, like McDonald's, Burger King, stuff like that too. It's owned by individual people. Like it's not a thing of it's not a thing of like what am I trying to say? It is not like every single store is owned directly by some corporate person. It's an individual can buy a store and have it licensed with this bigger company to host one of their stores.
Yeah.
It's run on a basic level by the owner of the individual store. It has oversight by the whole company, of course, and it follows their regulations and whatnot, but is owned by that one individual owner, that individual outlet. So they might not always have the same stock as any other given store.
Yeah.
Right.
So like almost 90% of the time you get people coming in and asking for things we don't have. Now, if we don't have something they want and they come in, then they get pissed off.
Very pissed off. Unreasonably angry.
You get
And
people
unreasonably
either-
angry at whoever the hell's the cashier at the time, you know? Not the person making the decisions.
Like if I'm taking orders through the drive-thru, people will get mad at me. Now, I have no control over, first of all, who makes their coffee or how the person is going to give it to them, because all I'm doing is taking their order.
Yeah.
I just take their order, push it, like punch the buttons into a screen, and then everyone else around me deals with the order.
Right. That's
So
like the
they'll
people who
yell-
freak out at. Yeah.
So they'll
That's
yell
like
at
the people who-
me.
Right. It's like people who freak out at the waiters and waitresses because the food wasn't cooked right.
So dumb.
I know.
They had to put up with so much bullshit. I just realized, though, that because Tim Hortons is almost exclusively Canadian, it's not very much presence at all in the States, and I think it's only Canada and the States, but it's everywhere in Canada. For people who don't know Timbits, I think some places will just call them, like, donut holes. Like, you know, just when you get a box of just circles of
Right.
donuts, essentially, like what the hole would have been. Just the middle part cooked and flavored and everything. We
Yeah.
call those Timbits.
Right.
That's what they're Timbits. That's what, and they used to actually be like, Tim Hortons used to like make all their donuts and they punch the middle out and sell that as a thing to
Yeah.
not waste dough. Now, obviously, it's a factory-made thing that they just make small balls of dough.
Yeah.
Because of course, now you just waste whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I get
Yeah.
shitty customers who yell at me for stupid stuff all the time. It's just the 72 cookies story never gets old. It's
God,
always
that one
hilarious.
was just such a good
Like,
story.
That one is specifically really funny.
Yeah.
Well, a funny story that happened at mine is
All right.
one day we're working, all of us. Now it's a Saturday. It's a really busy Saturday, and we were understaffed by 2 people. So of course, and none of the managers are there. We just have a supervisor. So we're working, and everybody's working really hard, and I'm working at drive-thru when all of a sudden, all I hear from the front is some guy yelling.
Hmm.
And of course, everyone stops what they're doing to see why this man is yelling.
Yep.
Hmm.
Now, unfortunately for the person working there, he's he's a nice guy, and he's really, like, nice to everybody, but he's, like, he gets stressed out really easily and becomes very awkward.
Yeah.
So, he's standing there with this guy yelling in his face like he doesn't know what to do. So this man is yelling because he's been waiting for 15 minutes
Whoa!
to get food. Now, we have one person working on the sandwich bar making every single piece of food for all of the customers. The drive-thru line is out to the road. The line
God.
for the door is out the door. And this person is yelling because he's been waiting for 15 minutes to get 2 sandwiches.
Wow.
He
Brandon-
yells, and he threatens that he's gonna jump over the counter and stab. No, this guy's name was Mark.
Whoa!
He's gonna
Holy
jump over the
shit!
counter and stab Mark and take his money back out of the thing, like out of the till.
Oh my god!
And then
That
he's
is
gonna take his
completely
food and
unnecessary.
leave. So the
No,
supervisor
hold
comes
on, hold
out.
on. This is a Tim Hortons, so please tell me a police officer was present.
There was no police officer present,
Wow.
but our supervisor comes out from the back, like you hear the yelling, and he's counting the till because it's like almost the end of the day. He comes out from the back and walks over and goes, "Mark, is everything okay?" And this guy goes, "No, everything's not okay. This store's fucking bullshit. I'm taking my business somewhere else, or I'm gonna jump over that counter. I'm gonna take all the money." And you just hear the supervisor calmly just go, "Sir, please. Do you want me to phone the police?" And this guy goes, "What? What did you say to me?" He goes, "If you're gonna be disruptive and threaten the employees who work here, I'm gonna phone the police." And all you hear is he goes, "Fuck you guys, just give me my money back and I'm gonna leave." So the supervisor punches the thing into the till, it opens up and he grabs money and goes, "Here you go. I hope you have a very pleasant day." And the man is holding a switchblade,
Oh
Which is
my
not-
god!
which is not only illegal in
Oh,
Canada.
yeah, I was gonna say, aren't spring-loaded knives illegal?
He's already holding it, and our supervisor gives him the money. He goes, "I hope you have a really nice day." He worked actually in one of the businesses that's actually behind my Tim Hortons. It's like an auto shop or whatever.
Oh my
When he
God.
got back there, our supervisor had phoned that place and told him what had happened. So when he actually got back to work, his boss was waiting outside and fired him right when he got there.
Good.
his boss
he's a
live?
dude.
Did his boss survive
I know.
firing him?
His
Holy
boss survived,
shit.
yeah. His boss survived, and he is, I think, the only person in our Tim Hortons who has been put on the list where we are not allowed, like, he is not allowed to come into the store anymore.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
Jeez, did he look like a psychopath? Like,
Yeah, he had a whole bunch of tattoos, but I did notice specifically he had 2 tears,
okay. Yeah.
which is an indicator. So
Yeah.
he's a psycho.
Jesus, how did he get a switchblade?
I have no idea.
Like, again, like, people might not know,
I've got bruises
but
everywhere
yeah,
from
like
this constant
in
clicking.
Canada and United States have parallel laws when it comes to like workers' knives.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, you can't have a switchblade. You have a gravity knife instead.
You're
In
not allowed
States,
to
you
have
can't have a
any-
gravity knife. You have a switchblade.
In Canada, you're not allowed to have any sort of spring-loaded weapon.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
spring-loaded knife is illegal here because it's a concealed knife that like it doesn't really have a practical use that much outside of violent crimes, so we don't have them legal.
Yeah.
A spring-loaded knife would be like a switchblade where you click a button or a switch and the blade comes out of the hilt. It's really easy to conceal. Instead,
Yeah.
because the whole purpose of a switchblade is for like workers who would like, you know, you're hanging off the side of a building on a rope and you need a knife that you can unsheath with one hand. That's what a switchblade is for. Instead, we use a gravity knife, which would be like a butterfly knife, like what the spy uses in TF2. You hold one end of the hilt and it flips open. So you flip it open with gravity, so it's not spring-loaded. That's a lot harder to conceal, and it has more practical use for a worker knife because it is like it's very sturdy.
Well, yes, and you couldn't like stab the hilt into somebody and then flick the knife out.
Yeah, that would be impossible with a gravity knife.
Yeah.
A gravity
Switchblades
knife,
are
when it's
actually-
closed up, a gravity knife looks more like a stapler. Like it's large.
Yeah.
But in the States, it's the opposite, and I don't know why. They'll use switchblades and stuff for workers, and gravity knives like a butterfly knife is illegal. I don't understand why.
Switchblades here are actually illegal.
They should be. So
They are.
good.
Like the police here, like the police in the States, I know they have spring-loaded batons.
Yeah.
So you hit a button and it whips out like really like.
I don't
Fast.
think those aren't legal here, are they?
No, for the police you have a baton that you hold by the handle and you have to flick it out with your hand like almost pretty violently to actually get it to extend.
Yeah.
So it's an actual like you have to be very committed to using it instead of just you push a button and it flings out.
Yours are the ones that
settlement
they
is developed
push
and
outwards like a
therefore
kid's toy
receives new
lightsaber back in the day, right? Where it like
Yeah.
comes out of the yeah. It's an
Yeah.
extending baton.
Yeah. But
Which-
the end
Those
of the
have
story.
practical use too, because the actual act of extending it cannot be used as an attack.
Yeah. And the end of my story actually, he left and got fired by his boss. But the funny thing is almost everybody else who was in the store at the time who was still waiting to come in line apologized to Mark for the other person's actions.
That
The lady after came up to him and she was like, "Oh my god, I am so sorry that happened to you."
Yeah.
yeah, that is a very Canadian thing, isn't it? Because I've done that before, where Fatima and I were in a Wendy's once to try out their. They had just added poutine to the menu. So we're like, it's gonna be terrible, but let's give it a try. And yeah, it was terrible. But we're like, let's give it a try. We went in there, and there was some fucking asshole arguing at the counter for so long, just being a dickhead to them, and eventually he tried to play like the I'm a reasonable guy kind of thing, you know that. And eventually he just walked in. He's like, my drink. He had come back. He's like, I worked all day, and my drink is almost all water. And they're like, well, sir, you had ice in it, and it melted like. And he's like, I just want another one. They're like, okay, yeah, you can have another one. And they're like, see, I'm a reasonable guy. And then he walked out, and then like we had already gotten our shitty poutine, and we we're on our way out, and I was just like, give me a minute, and I just walk over to the counter. I'm like, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. And then like, they're like, thanks, man, that sucked. And they're like, do you want anything? I was like, no, we're just telling you, like, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. And they're like, no problem. I feel like that's a really Canadian thing.
Yeah.
We're an empathetic people.
Yeah, it's nice. I wish more
Yeah.
people were like that.
That's pretty common over here.
Well, because not only does it disrupt you as the customer because of this huge commotion, but then like the people working.
We've all been there,
The
dealing
people
with some
working-
fucking asshole who's just unreasonable.
Yeah.
The people working are just like they're just there to work.
Yeah.
So when you get
Yeah.
when people yell at you and you're just working. And
Yeah.
it's like, really? You're gonna yell at me while I'm just like when you're at work, do people just come up to you and yell at you?
No.
Is that why you're trying to take this out on me?
Like the other
Perfect
night?
game, 10 out of 10, by the way.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks great.